Okay, so for this Biden documents case, I don't know why, but I'm drawn to this deck here. It's Ciro Marchetti's Gilded Reverie. And there's some extra cards. It's an extended edition. So maybe that's why that's the one I saw in my in my mind's eye when I was meditating to figure out which system to use. So, of course, you guys have probably all seen the news. You all have the Google machine, and you all have probably cable with MSNBC and other news outlets. So I really don't want to just go through everything I've been listening to and talk about what's on the news, because you can Google it yourself if you don't watch it on TV. I'm not here to bring you every friggin' detail of the news. I'm just not. But I really want to know. I pretty much think I know from what's been on the news what really happened. But I want to know Biden's part in it. Is there guilt or not? I want to know how this is going to go for him. So basically, it's like past, present, future. How is it going to go for him? What will the end? Even into like his possible re-election, because he hasn't announced, but I think he's going to run again. But I want to know how this is going to affect him in the future. And if I have to, I can use the Kipper, but I'm going to just start here. So I have the camera up high enough I can draw 21 cards, get the full story. What happened? What's his part in it, if any? And how it's going to go for him, how the investigation, the special, counsel that's been appointed by Garland, how all of that will go for him, and what will the end result be. 2, 3, 4, 5. And 21. Okay, and of course I'll probably take some of these off the bottom. Maybe we'll even get some timing as to how soon this will be wrapped up. So, yeah, okay. So we have the snake. We have complications here. Snake, mice. Yeah, snake, mice, dice, scythe, cross, clover, bear, okay. Star, the owls, yeah, the labyrinth, doggy key, ship, mask, mountain, magnifying glass. Ooh, we have the house. Okay. Oh, yeah, that's right. That makes sense. We have the flowers or bouquet. We have the crossroads. We have the book. And the stork. Okay, that's a good finishing card there. So his card didn't come through, but that's okay. What we have, I'm going to start with the first 3 cards and then do the corners and edges to frame things in. Right here, having the dog in the middle, it tells me straight off the bat that it was his support assistant that was helping him that is the guilty party. So anyway, with the snake, it's a betrayal for him. Actually, let's start here. The obstacle is the major obstacle and blockage for him with the mountain card here. It's possible, because, well, we have to remember this. All of this happened way back when, right? This all happened when he was vice president, not president. Things were probably pretty intense for him. You can see that up here with the snake. But with the mountain card, right off the get-go, I think he's, well, the problem is for him, that is complicating the issue, is the fact that he knew about this 8 weeks ago and he didn't make an announcement. But he did. We have to credit him with the fact that he did want to look deeper into it, and he did assign, attorneys and a team to figure out like what the heck really happened. It's not like he just tried to hide it and shove it down. But on another level here, the delay in him revealing, putting it out there with the star card, revealing the complication in what happened. This is a little bit of a self-betrayal here is what I'm getting with the snake. It complicated things. I don't know if this could have been someone who was supporting him, his helper, assistant here, who was supporting him, that, maybe didn't have his best interests in mind. And maybe not for Obama either, right? But, the fact that these documents were found in his, now he had, had them search everything so that, well, that's probably what his attorneys recommended, but the fact that they were found in his home, that kind of works against him, and you can see that knighting up here. I know I'm going off my little frame up here a little bit, but I'm following the story the cards are presenting. So the fact that the documents were found at his home makes it look a little negligent here with the mice card here. It creates more stress. There's complications with stress. I think what happened in the past is that he had a lot of complications and stress on his back. I don't know if it had to do with supporting, well, who knows? I mean, you can only imagine how hard it can be to be a Democratic, supporter, a Democratic public servant. You're supporting the president. Now, GOP, that's a whole other thing, because their motto is and they call them the do-nothing Democrats. It's like, what? They literally do nothing, and their job is just to block everything. So, but with Biden here, I feel like the delay is what is complicating things, and in the past, maybe he was trying to minimize the risk somehow. I don't know. I mean, let's just keep going. The delay is creating the complication with his authority over here to the bear. But I do feel like he's going to rise above it. Now, also, this is going, the storks go to and from the nest, so this would be him going to and from, because he owns 2 homes. So there's that. The documents were in a locked garage with his Corvette, I guess is what he was saying in the answers that he gave yesterday. I don't know if he'll be doing that anymore now that there's this special counsel looking into it. What's his name? I can't remember his first name. But anyway, H-U-R is his last name. So let's just keep reading here. This is one of his assistants, I'm sure, one or even two of his assistants. And the reason I say that is, we have 2 dice here. We have knights up here to the number 2 card. And I feel like it's more than one assistant who just, were kind of lost in the maze of what needed to be done. And I feel like it was unfortunate. I feel like there's some wisdom in the past, but there was this huge web of people, I think, trying to support him, and somebody got sloppy. Just think of like throwing the dice and they hit the table and they go wherever. I think we could say these are the papers. And even though I don't have the letter card here, this card does knight down here into maybe the failure to see the fact that these were not just classified, but, some higher level classified documents. And maybe they got mixed in with some other papers. Yeah. Now, I know lots of you are asking, were the papers stolen and then planted? We do have hidden enemies here. We do have betrayal here. We do have theft here. But it does not logically make sense in my brain unless it was somebody who was very, very, very close to him. Doesn't make sense to me. Now, this could have happened with the, the Penn Biden Center in Chicago. That could have happened there. But still, how did classified documents get from his home to there? Well, they had to have been mixed in with some other papers. But why did they ever make it to his home? And that's what the investigation will definitely be looking into. And I do feel like it's just maybe some neglect. Like, you don't leave the cheese out if you have mice around, But then again, being a public servant, like, how much pressure is on a person all the time? And complicated, things on top of wise people who are trying to just do their jobs, and it can be very dangerous. He could be cleared from guilt as it goes on. Yeah, I mean, it's tricky. So, but this could be a surprise solution that comes through, because I feel like it's the guilt of an assistant who got kind of lost. But again, if anything was planted, they would have had to have been very close to Biden, as in having the keys, literal keys to his home, and that garage that is, where the boxes were, or the documents were found in a box. So there's that. I think that the issue is that the connection to his home is the solution. But so it's very, very possible, because this card didn't land in the center for no reason, and we don't have the snake and the mice up here for no reason, and we don't have this gamble risky type of a card all up here in the first 3 rows. And this danger to Biden because of his assistant and the guilt of the assistant, it's all right here. And the complications because of, you know, the negligence of leaving something, you know, getting something to his home. I mean, if it were planted, it would have had to have been by somebody, like I said, very, very close to him, had the keys to his home, and someone that they really trusted. And that could be why we have the betrayal card up here and the thievery card. So it is possible, but if it was planted, it was done by someone very, very close to him at the time, way back when. You know, we're talking 2017, 2018. So, let's see. Yeah, I mean, with this line here, what it looks like to me is that what it's looking like is that the guilt of the assistant to going in and out of his home, because we've got the in and out here of the nest, right? And this mask card, could be someone who was masking, so they're masking their authority when they were going in and out. You know, maybe they weren't supposed to go into the garage. Maybe the box was meant, the box with the documents, maybe it was meant for Biden to go through, and the assistant helper just threw put the box in the garage and, you know, mistook his instructions here. So in the future, so for Biden, how it's going to go for him, because that's the thing, right? We have to look at it from that perspective. I think we have the past, so now let's look at the present and moving forward. I think his loyalty will be revealed. That will be the key that unlocks the whole thing. And I think that he will be cleared of the burden. And there might be some surprising elements that come through. But the bouquet card is also a card of recovery. It's a card of harmony. And even though they're going to be going around and around and around looking for all types of problems, and you know, this could be the GOP that just, of course, these cards up here could also relate to the GOP. And there is no way in hell anybody can compare this to what Trump did. There's just no way. And I don't think I need to sit here and explain everything ad nauseum to you guys. I think you're way wiser than that. So, bottom line is, in the future, he's at this crossroads. But I think, he's the solution, the opening to the whole situation will be that it was a travel situation coming, to and from his house by the assistant. And like I said, the only problem is just that he, didn't address it to the public. He didn't go public with it right away. His problem is that just trying to hold his burden is the fact that he held it secret under his own authority. He did bring it to his attorneys and started his own internal investigation, and that could be why we have this here too. And our doggy card can definitely be an attorney, reading this on another layer, because that's how it always works. Everybody's like, well, why do we draw so many cards? Well, there are so many layers to get the full stories. It's not anything like these cartomancy systems are not anything like the tarot. And even with the tarot, we can do a full Celtic cross, right? So, anywho, this can be the law. This can also be the secrets, and this would be under Biden's authority. And his problem is that, you know, he was a little masky with it in the get-go until it broke. But it is very telling that it broke, you know, the first day after, you know, McCarthy and the GOP were sworn into the House. The House was sworn in. The House members were sworn in. So, and I think that's revealed up here and right here with the star card. Like there's a connection to that betrayal. So anyway, they're going to be looking more deeply into everything. That won't be a problem. I do feel like he goes free. We have a card of freedom here and here. If I were to get the mountain card down here, I would go, ooh, hold on, there's a hold up there. Let's see. Yeah, I feel like there's recovery and freedom, a clearing of his guilt, but then also because this card knights, you know, here and here, he's at a crossroads of realizing, oh crap, I can never do that again. You don't cover up anything. A lot of times the cover up is way worse than the, and it wasn't a total cover up, it was just more of this, you know, negligence. That he took the risk to keep it inside and get his helpers to, you know, do the work and examine what really happened. But he should have gone public with it. I think that's the thing, is when you're in a public position, you always have to get ahead of whatever might come out. Because you know it's going to come out. That's just the way it is. So I think this is a lesson for him. This is a lesson for him to not mask anything. Because the GOP is just going to, they're going nuts with this. But so let's do, oh wait, hold on, let me show you what's at the bottom. And then I do feel like I want to use a Kipper just to see if legally how it's going to go for him. So this is an emotional, he is feeling this terribly. And you know, I mean, you guys could not believe what I'd been feeling in my body just preparing for this reading. It's been you know, I'm an empath, that's what this card's about. And this is emotionally getting him down terribly. But it is affecting his health. It was affecting my body. It is his karma to learn a different direction, to go deeper. Yeah, the rest of these cards. Yeah, this has to do with the flow of problems that can happen within the government. You know, well, you know, and this is his Neptune in Libra too. This bridge to not cover things up, to just get them out there in front of the news cycle. So these cards on the bottom are confirming what I was already getting. Okay, hold on. Let's just do this. I'll clean up my mess later. All right, so legally, how is this going to go for him? How will this go? Oops, sorry. Tarot Marchetti's. Wait. If I can remember, Fundasakel. Did I get it right? I don't know. Did I get it right? Fundasakel. Is that it? It's end of the century in French. As you can see, I do not speak French on a daily basis. But I had a dear one email me or put in the comment the best, you know, sounding it out phonetically. So if I just keep doing it every time, you have to let me know if I got it right. Anyway, back to Biden. How's this going to go? How will this go for him? Legally, how will this go for him? What's he going to be going through? It's probably going to take a few months. I can feel in my body. It's going to be, I don't know, that's the first card. It's going to be the biggest pain in his neck. is just really going to be a pain in his neck. Okay, 2, 3. Fifteen, 16, 17. Okay. This doesn't give us the full story. I don't know what will. Okay. All right, so we have, I am thinking this is an attorney for him. This could be the guy. Yeah, it is. It's, what's his name? Her. Going, oh God, do I have to do this? Here's Biden. He's looking at, yeah, this is the pain in the neck, right? 5, 6, 7. Okay, let me just lay the cards out. It wastes time to start reading them right off the get-go. I need to see the link-ups. Yeah, okay. Oh, man. Well, that does not mean incarceration. That's just a restriction. Okay, so again, the first few cards, this is the man in charge of, it's, what's his name? Her, can't remember. All I remember is that he's a counsel for Maryland, for the state of Maryland, and very experienced. So that's him. This is him and his examination. Here's Biden here. So he's looking forward to that. Now, this could also be, our mature man can be the stand-in for support. But these two cards flanking Biden, this is going to be just like I was feeling in my body. Just so much dread, pain in the neck. Like, oh, God, now? Really? You know, really? With all of this to be compared to Trump? You know, I hope he just doesn't watch the news at all. And just, you know, he had his statement that he gave, and that was a good thing to do. But, okay, so how this is going to go for him, he's looking at, you know, a lot of stress. This is our Nine of Swords in the Tarot. This is serious problems. This is a lot of sleepless nights. This is, you know, demands put upon him. And, you know, in his natal chart, his north and south node, his south node's in Pisces, north node's in Virgo. That is a very, very hard, which is probably why we had the tree in the other deck. It's a very hard, it's a challenge. It's a very challenging polarity to work from, you know, for a lifetime, which we could all witness with the loss of his wife and first one of his children, and you know, so it's a hard, you know, row to toe. So what's coming up behind his back is he's really not going to be able to think of too much else for a while. He's not going to feel the relief until it's done. Now, reading the four corners here, but he does have support, and this wouldn't be his wife because that would have been the main person card, but this would be lots of other feminine support, and that would be helping her as well too, right? Support for the family. So he's going to be going through tons of meetings with, this could be an attorney here, who most likely will be visiting him as much as he possibly can. I think this is going to be expensive for him. I'm sure he has to pay for it himself. Yeah. It might bring him into some childhood wounding where he felt helpless and like I just can't catch a break. Because look how his card knights. But he does have control over it. You know, you go back and you do your deep work. He's how many, hold on. I have his chart somewhere. How many planets does he have in Scorpio? Oh, here it is. Here's his chart. So he has a yod, a finger of fate, finger of God, and it's, you know, the moon in Taurus, of course, would cause this type of a consciousness. I think he probably had a very challenging past lifetime. And you can see the, you know, the South Node in Pisces, North Node, Chiron conjunctus North Node, no less. This would definitely be the stuttering issues he had when he, you know, grew up. But he has 4 planets in Scorpio. Right? Sun, Venus, Mercury, and Mars. 3 of them in the 12th. Here's his political ascendant here. You know, will always attract, you know, the political attention once he decided to, well, he's been a lifelong public servant, I think, what, 40 years or so? Yeah. So, yeah. Now, the 9th house is the house of legal issues, too. So he's, I mean, I haven't run his transits to look at it very deeply, but that's all there. So, and that ties me into here. So with him knighting to the poverty card, I believe he's going to do the work, as much work as he possibly can to. The adjudication card can even be going to a therapist or anyone to help him, you know, like work through the issue if he's so inclined. I hope he does. And it's also knighting over here to the unexpected income, but it can be a reward in the future. And this can be a young attorney. This could be an elderly female attorney, but then again, elderly, it's like my friend Melissa Ryder. Hi, Lissa. She commented this morning reminding me that Fonnie Willis is 51. It's like, what? So that this card could be Fonnie Willis, but it's not in this situation, but it could be anyone, you know, 50 and over. So, see what I'm saying? This guy is under 50. So these can be attorneys that come to his home and they're part of his intimate circle. He does have a lot of support into his, you know, into his home. But then framing in with this a thievery card. Now this card doesn't necessarily mean that somebody's going to be stealing something. This card has another meaning where there is a loss. You suffer a loss from some little bit of irresponsibility. And the reason I read it that way is because the images, it's like, okay, this guy's looking straight ahead. Maybe he's looking at this, maybe he's looking at the boobies there. I don't know. And I'm not saying this is Biden, but just to get the image of the card, he's looking somewhere else, and the kid, the pickpocket, is getting his watch. Except it's on a chain, so he probably won't get away with it. But that's the meaning of the card. So a bit of a loss from irresponsibility, and I think the loss is that the money he's going to have to pay out to all these attorneys while they do the painstaking work. You know, unless the government pays for it, I don't know. I honestly don't know about that. Like, do us taxpayers pay for things like that? But notice here, we do not have, let's see what's at the bottom. Oh, it could take a few months because there are rules and regulations. Yeah, this is really affecting him with the sad news card. It's you know, some disappointment and sadness, and there's a confrontation and a crisis. Like, you know, I would hope that he does get some support. And yeah, I think this was his helper, his younger apprentice helper that just, you know, was negligent. But there's some, you know, this card has some intrigue going on as well. But then good fortune. I like that. Good fortune. Okay. So notice that we don't have any cards of a grand jury trial. We have an investigation here, but the documents, you know, once they're retrieved, he's on top of it. There's a restriction going on in how much work he can accomplish. I'm sad to say that, but I have to because it's here. He's on top of it, trying to work and do as much as he can, but if this is going to nag him and just dog him. And again, I hope he just doesn't watch the news. But he does have loyalty. He does have a team that will be poring over it like, you know, like their own OCD to get all the details and try and, you know, help him, I think. But this is going to be this little this little imprisonment. Well, it's self-created in hindsight. But then again, it's like, how do you, when you think about it, just put yourself in a vice president's position. How do you do the workload that you have? How do you accomplish your work without delegating to assistants? And then anytime you do that, you put yourself at the risk. Remember, we had that the dice card up here. You put yourself at the risk of them, you know, making a mistake. And that is exactly what I think happened. And if he was sabotaged with, you know, someone planting the documents in his home, then there's that. I mean, it's a possibility, but it had to have been somebody really close to him that had the keys to his garage, keys to his home, based on those other cards. Let's see, what else? Our sudden wealth card is abundance. So there's just going to be an abundance of work. The work is affecting his abundance. It might be that there's an abundant payout to a female attorney, and you know, that's the loss that he receives from that. What I have to say, you know, I'm going to use the word irresponsibility, but in quotes, because it's, you know, it's, again, he delegated like anybody would do to accomplish their workload. Yeah, this is probably, both of these, I get the feeling, are assistants that will help him out, and then also that, you know, close to the home. And then again, maybe what we have here, maybe what we're seeing here with this these four cards, is that maybe it will be revealed later on that it was somebody that had the keys to get into his home, and they did plant the evidence or the documents. There's that possibility. I can't say no to that. I could only say for sure that it happened because they had the keys to get into his home, and therefore he suffered a betrayal, if that's the case, if the documents were planted. What we can see here is that there was the shuffle on another layer. There was the shuffling of the documents to get them together. Remember that labyrinth card we had in the Lenormand? I'm seeing the same pattern here where there was this shuffling of the documents. You know, somebody had a hold of the documents, and this is him probably looking at the fact that they were in stress and under too much stress to get the papers in the vehicle that they were transporting, because we have the documents here being transported. Yeah. And it was someone who worked for him, right? Here we have the person that worked for him. The loyal worker, a younger woman, and probably an older woman, or I can't say older, but above 50. 50's not old. but under 50 and over 50 that supported him, taking care of the details, and got them, in their cars or their whatever, in their vehicle, documents in the vehicle, and possibly even an older man that was involved. And now they're all in despair over this. Can you imagine if, being a loyal, because I have loyalty here, I don't have, notice this is the only nefarious little card we have, right? We don't have the, well, there was one under here, the deception card, but that's that problem with the biggest for Biden. The biggest problem is that he evaded the matter. Like, see that masky thing back there? This card can be evading the matter, and that's his biggest problem that he's the saddest about. He shouldn't have covered it up, or waited. He shouldn't have delayed. That is what's working against him. But I do feel like this will be done within a few months. So let's see. I feel like that was a little bit of a squirrel moment. But what I was starting to say is that we don't have, these cards are really bad, but I don't feel like, it could have been I can't, again, I'm just going to say what I said before. I can't say that it wasn't a plant, but if it was a plant, it was someone close to him, and it was a huge betrayal. But with these cards, because remember this spread, to go back to the context, you always have to remember, what was your question? My question was to know how this would affect him in the future. It's going to distract him. I think he's going to overcome it, and I think he's going to have a tremendous support getting through it. But it's going to dog him and bug the heck out of him for quite some time. For a few months or so. It will be the restriction, but because his card came up here in the top row, not down on the bottom, he has a lot of control. And that means that all he needs to do is get some support. I hope I really hope that anyone that is working, of course it doesn't happen that way, but anyone who is working in a public position like that with some power, I really hope that they're all in regular therapy just for supervision, for support, in their leadership. Because leadership is frustrating. It is. You're always tested. You have to be so careful with your words. You guys know what I've been through. And you're going to be attacked just because for whatever person's, reason. And those reasons are as different as each person is. And you can't take it personally. But this one is, and it's so hard when you're betrayed. If you have delegated responsibility or ask someone to do a job for you, and they turn around and betray you, I know he'll forgive them. I just, by looking at his chart, I know he's a very forgiving person. But it's going to be hard. It's going to be hard. Maybe his chart with the Chiron on his north node up here, maybe his one of his life purposes. With the finger of fate up here, we can see that it's all about peace and harmony and balance and relationship building, and we know that that is what he's done. And that's where he's coming from in his past life with the South here. What the heck? Let's do it this way. Give me a clipboard. With that South node there, in Pisces, here, this is a past life point. And then on his north node, which we come in with the nodes as a polarity that we need to balance out. So with Pisces, we have compassion and service and lots of pain from the past and forgiveness, and then just coming in like, okay, I'm going to try it again. Got to get this right. And what does he need to get right? He needs to tap into his deepest wounding. In Leo, it can be about your leadership, especially at this ripe degree, 28 degrees Leo. And his path in life with Virgo is to heal. And I believe not only to heal, but also to tap into his deepest wounding in his heart, which we know he's gone through. Look at the Pluto and Jupiter here in the house of death. This is him losing his first wife and one child. And all the pain. This is also the house of addiction. This would be him trying, doing his best to help his son heal his addiction. And him being there for him and not giving up. And then the moon. The moon rules his family and what he values, right? He's always talking about kitchen table issues. That's why this moon in the 5th house here is he takes great pleasure in trying to provide for his family, and relationship is everything. So for him to be betrayed by someone that he's has delegated responsibility to support him is extremely painful in his heart. But I think that as he comes through this, he's probably going to teach us how to forgive and how to love. Because I just don't see him, Scorpio planets can be, you can have a lot of crisis, intense crisis, but with Sun conjunct Venus, and these other, in the 12th, it's like, it feels to me like he's dissolving the past relationship issues. So we'll see. We'll see. But that's my take on it, is that he's going to teach us, he's going to teach the world on the world stage. If he gets the support he needs and he decides to be out there talking about it, I hope that in the coming months he's going to be forgiving and apologizing for whoever. I don't think I'll see him beating anyone up for this. But it's got him, it's got him in this restriction. So I know it says imprisonment on this card, but the true meanings is it can just be a down patch. It's that you're self-conscious for a while, you're feeling alone and isolated, you don't really know what to do, and you just have to keep going within. You go into a bit of a, retreat. It can be like putting the Hermit card here, right? And it can be very, have a person feeling very self-reflective and shy and timid and not so, out there. And of course, remember, on his North Node there, with that Chiron and Leo, this life path was for him to come out. His North Node's in the house of politics and, media, being out in the media. It's also the house of divination. So, okay, now I'm done. Thanks, you guys. Take good care. Big hugs. Bye.